friend, when you look at yourself in the mirror naked, what comes to mind? How do you feel? What emotions come up for you? We're going to talk about that today, how that affects your sex life, and what you can do about it. Welcome back to the Road to Happiness podcast. We're your hosts, Josh and Cassie Spurlock, and we are here to talk about how theology and neuroscience marry and how that applies to your sex life, your relationships, and all the pieces of life.
Hey, we want to thank our sponsor, My Counselor Online, a leading provider of faith-based mental health and Christian counseling, for making this podcast possible for you and for us. So let's get rolling. I'm a certified sex therapist, been thousands of hours of sex therapy, and I find it amusing that most people don't know what their primary sex organ is. Like, it's surprising. Can you point to your primary sex organ right now?
I wish I could watch people.
Let's just do that. Like, we can't see you, but you should go along. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. That's right.
Did I win?
I don't know where you're pointing, but you should be pointing at your brain, because your brain is your primary sex organ, right? Like, we feel sexual experience all throughout our body, including our genitals. You might have been tempted to point there, which would have been awkward depending on where you're sitting right now.
If you're listening to this in a coffee shop.
Right. But your primary sex organ is your brain. Like, that is where all of the physical sensation that you experience directs into your brain, is interpreted, made sense of, and then pushes that information down through your nervous system back out to the different parts of your body where you feel arousal and sensation. So why are we talking about that? We are led in with this idea about insecurity in our body, wanting to feel sexy, what comes up for you when you look into the mirror at your naked body, that all of this matters as it pertains to our experience of sexual desire, our experience of arousal, our wanting to pursue or engage sexually, and how much we enjoy connecting sexually. Like, a huge, can't be understated percentage of your ability to enjoy connecting sexually, and thus your desire to connect sexually.
Because we don't do things we don't enjoy.
No.
We don't have a craving for things that we're like, that's kind of yucky.
Yeah, I never have a craving to be poked in the eye. I just don't. I don't enjoy being poked in the eye. It's not fun for me. And so I'm never like, you know what I could go for right now? Get poked in the eye. No. Never part of my experience. We don't desire what we don't enjoy.
In fact, we avoid it.
We avoid it. So we're not going to desire sex if it's not good for us. We don't enjoy it. And so if it's not fun, if it's not pleasurable, we're not going to enjoy it. And a huge component of whether or not it is fun and enjoyable has to do with what's going on between our ears as it pertains to our body. You know, a surprising amount of sex therapy is about addressing this. It's less about the mechanics of connecting sexually, though that's a part of it also, as much as it is our feelings and our beliefs about ourselves, our body, about our theology, about our ideas about sex, what's happening between our ears. So,
yeah, just thinking about when God created us, when he knit us together in our mother's womb, said we were fearfully and wonderfully made, launched us into the world, and his design over us is beautiful. It's good. It's delightful. So anything besides that we think about ourselves and our bodies and our experience, anything that has gotten in the way from wounds in our life, that has distorted that image that God has of us, that what he said is truth, or has been gaps. Maybe nobody ever told us that. Maybe we didn't know. Maybe people have said things that made us disbelieve that or question that. all those things are things that he's trying to unwind for us
Mhm.
because he has this beautiful delight in mind for us.
Yeah, you weren't born insecure in your body. Like, it didn't come from the womb. That's not Jesus' design for you. All of that is a result of experiences that you have had post being born. Sometimes through explicit messaging, what people said to you about your body, sometimes implicit, what they didn't say about your body, or what we caught from the insecurities that our parents, particularly for women, your mothers, how your mother experienced her body and her sexuality,
or the female figure in your life.
that has huge impact on how you experience your own security in your body. And this is a big deal. Again, the number one driver for male arousal. We could drum roll, but it's going to be exactly what it is that you think, right? I guess is not surprising here. But the number one driver for male arousal is how attractive they find their spouse, right? And so that is kind of the big driver for male arousal. But what's interesting is the number one driver for female arousal. You know what it is? You do. You want to say what it is?
How attractive you find yourself.
Yeah, how attractive you feel as female. It's not how attractive your spouse is. You may have a very attractive spouse, and I'm not saying that doesn't matter and that you don't care about that. Like, I'm not saying that does not matter. I'm just saying that
But even
most
if you're
important,
even if your spouse is attractive, but you feel insecure in your body, you don't feel desirous to open up and share that because
Totally.
you feel awkward.
Yes. How you feel about you is the biggest accelerator or brake when it comes to desire.
This is a hard pill to swallow, I think, especially because I feel like we are constantly being bombarded in every area of life with a threat and a critique about this one way or the other.
Yeah, it is both a hard pill to swallow and it can be a really empowering thing.
Yeah, because you have control
You do.
over navigating this. And sometimes we might feel like, I just feel this way. I've always felt this way. I don't know why I feel this way.
But you haven't always felt this way.
But you get to have the power to do the work to change those things so that it can be what you want. And I'm not talking about necessarily do the work on your body. I'm not talking about hitting the gym or cutting calories or whatever it might be. I'm talking about you doing the internal work to feel good in your own skin.
Yeah, here's the thing. Your internal sense of your attractiveness and beauty is not tied to your external conforming to societal beauty norms. I'm not saying that they're not related. I'm not saying that they don't impact each other. They certainly do. And those things matter. And there's not anything wrong with pursuing changing your body's appearance in ways that you want to or feel good about. But what I'm saying is that you can conform perfectly to society beauty norms and still not feel good in your own body. Like some of the women who feel worse about their bodies in terms of feeling good in their own skin and their own attractiveness are supermodels. Like the level of like eating disorders and disordered body image amongst those who are on the billboards and magazines and in the ads is exceedingly high. As a therapist, I've done lots of eating disorder treatment and have worked with many beautiful women who fit the societal norms for beauty who do not feel good in their own skin and in their own body. Like, those are separate matters. They're both real, they both matter, they both have an influence and impact. And I'm not dismissing the value of things that enhance or change your appearance. In fact, we're going to talk about being intentional about those things here in just a little bit. It's just really critical that you understand that those things are not one-to-one, that they are separate matters, and changing the external isn't going to automatically change the internal. You have to do work around both. And it's not a level playing field out there. Like, it is a multi-billion dollar industry that is based on you feeling insecure about your body. Like, there's a lot.
Just grieves the heart of God. He's like, look at this beautiful thing I gave you. I made you so delightful. And the enemy is just everywhere trying to take away from that, chip at that, destroy that, disparage that.
Yeah, that it grieves the heart of God, and thus is a win for the enemy when he can make you feel bad about your body. And so there's a really strategic attack of the enemy, and it is to the advantage of selling gym memberships, diet plans, makeup, cosmetics, fashion. Like, all of these things are huge, big money businesses. And I'm not dogging on them. They're not evil inherently. Like, I'm not saying it's evil to own a gym or to go to a gym
or wear makeup
or to
get your hair done.
Yeah, nails. Like, I'm not disparaging any of those things. And I don't think God is either. The point is that there's an intentional messaging around you're not good enough, therefore you need XYZ product or service in order to be good enough. And that messaging has billions of dollars spent on it every year to get into your head and make you feel not good about you in order to sell you something, right? And so you have to be aware of that and intentional about counteracting that, because it will mess you up. You know that.
Yep.
You experience it.
It will rob you of so much joy.
And it will rob your sex life.
For sure.
For sure.
That's part of the joy that it will rob you.
Part of the joy that it'll rob you of is the joy that you could be experiencing in your sex life. And so there's something, again, really powerful here, because it means that there's a lot that you can do to change the way that you feel about your body, to improve your body image, to improve your sense of attractiveness. And that as you do so, it will change your desire for sex. It will change your enjoyment of sex, right? It will promote those things. And this is not something that anybody can do for you, unfortunately. Like, your husband can't do this for you, right? Your husband cannot fix this for you.
No matter if he tells you you're beautiful every day, if he gives you the goo-goo eyes and is obsessed with you and pats your booty every time he walks by, if you're still struggling with it internally, that won't fix it for you.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with those things. Those are all great things.
Yeah, we hope for that.
All the husbands listening on this, be affirming to your wives around their body. They got a whole lot working against them societally, trying to make them feel bad by that. Be voice that is countering that and being affirming to her. But you can't fix that for her. He can't fix that for you. Like, this is work that you have to do inside of you to increase your receptive capacity to be able to take that in, to actually believe him when he is affirming to those things. Like, that's work that you have to do inside of you in order for that to be possible. And so the getting it straight between your ears is really important for what happens between your legs. Is that?
It's imperative.
It's imperative. So what can you do about it? Like we're talking about the reality that I got to get straight what's between my ears if I'm going to have the kind of sex life that I want to have, if I'm the key and the heart to this feeling sexy thing is starting with being able to get comfortable in my own skin and in my own body. So what? What do I do? How do I do that? So a few thoughts. There's some practical things we want to give you that you can play with. But it begins with compassionate curiosity. You got to lean into rather than avoid and run away from. Like you got to make friends with the mirror. You know, the chapter of the section is kissing the mirror, right? Because it's about learning how to lean in and really appreciate and enjoy your assets, the way you are designed, the way your body looks, which means setting with and looking at your body and noticing the emotions that come up and getting curious about the story of those emotions, because all of those feels have a story. You weren't born with them. You had experiences of life that caused you to feel this way.
And I also want to say, like, when you say that, I think about uncomfortable feelings or sad feelings or shame feelings, bad feelings on the whole. But also, what about good feelings? Like, let's make space for the good feelings and actually celebrate them and sit in them a little bit, because that helps wire our brain to those to be our go-to pathways when we see our body, when we celebrate it. You are welcome to appreciate every one of your assets, both for what it looks like, for what it does for you. Like, you don't need anybody else to give you permission or agree with you. God does.
Yeah, that gratitude, gratitude journaling, noticing and naming the things about your body that you appreciate, both practically and visually and sensation wise. Like, don't run away from your body. You have to lean into noticing and being present. Mindfulness, being present with your own experience of life rather than continuously distracting yourself from your experience of life. So often we can look in the mirror and be like, ugh, and then we quickly look away. But we want to look in and lean into those moments to be compassionate and curious about that, and to learn to change the dialogue that's happening between our ears. We also want to be intentional about the exterior components to things. Like, you can be intentional about the developing a sexy style, your own personalized sexy style. Now, sometimes we just get in this place of giving up on these things. Like, I just feel blah, and so I don't even try. And that just snowballs into a bad place. We want to go in the opposite direction and instead be intentional about how do I cultivate a style and an appearance and that feels good to me, that highlights my assets, that causes me to feel better in my own skin. Setting up a Pinterest board where you look for styles of women of similar body shape that you can appreciate that style and work on and invest in developing that for yourself in a way that you can feel good about what's happening in the exterior.
Yeah, using social media not to follow people who you wish you look like at one point, but to follow people that are similar in body shape and size to you, so that you can get an idea of, so you can normalize that in your brain, and so that you can get an idea of, oh, this looks really cute on her. Oh, I might want to do it a different way. Taking time to learn to do your hair, taking time to do your hair in a way that feels good. I mean, these things were not intrinsic to me growing up. I had to learn and grow into all of these pieces that we're talking about, to take ownership for them, for myself, and overcome the obstacles that got in the way of this, and even overcome I think this teaching in the church that's like, you should not be concerned with your appearance. You should only be concerned with your spirituality and service to other people. It's a yes and. You should be concerned with your spirituality and service to other people. And yet, part of our spirituality is living fully who God designed us to be, caring about this gift, this temple that He gave us, not just caring about the people around us, our neighbors.
Yeah, the scriptures don't tell us not to care for our appearance or our body, how we engage in. That's not the teaching of Scripture. The teaching of Scripture is to not have it be out of priority and not to put more emphasis on the outside of the cup than what's going on inside the cup. That Jesus' concern, Paul's concern, those that get kind of obsessed with the external and neglect the internal, which is what is of greatest importance to God. That's a clear message of Scripture. And so don't get us wrong in wanting to make this the most important thing, the external piece. It's actually the opposite of that we're saying, that what's happening in between your ears and inside of you and in your heart is actually more important than what happens with your external aspects of your body desire. But that it is okay to attend to both, and that doing so plays a part in you feeling confident in your own body, which is key to feeling confident in the bedroom. If you don't feel confident outside the bedroom, if you don't feel confident in just your own skin and your own body, you're not going to muster that when you get into the bedroom.
No, it's going to be worse.
Yes, it's more challenging inside the bedroom. And so that's really why we start there. At the beginning of the book, we kind of lay some foundations around theology and we lay some of the pieces. But, it surprises folks to hear we're going to be a sex therapist talking about sex therapy and the things that we work with in sex therapy. And what we start with is what's going on between our ears and how we feel about our own body and getting comfortable in our own skin, because that's foundational to building a really healthy, vibrant sex life. So there's a lot of things that you can do. They all start with compassionate curiosity and leaning into the things that come up for you around your body. And it may mean connecting with a therapist, that sometimes unwinding some of the messaging that we got along the way requires a little help. Somebody that knows how to journey with you to those places where those messages are coming from and have the transformative experiences that will change that from the inside out. You don't always need that. Sometimes working that out with some of your iron sharpening friends does the trick. Sometimes leaning in with mentors that you have in your life creates the corrective experiences that you need. And sometimes you need a little professional help to help you unpack those things. But whatever it is for you, God desires for you to have this freedom and this confidence in your body, and for that to carry forward into your bedroom in a way that is really cool for both you and your spouse.
Yeah, because when we are not focused just on the protective things that we have in mind about our body, the shielding or the awkwardness that we have, we are free to engage with so much joy, so much like just being all in. And that's what God intends for our sex life. So this is a huge piece of that, and it's really exciting.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We're having lots of fun talking the sexy talk with you about Jesus' design for your bedroom life, for your body. There's a free chapter link somewhere around here for chapter 3 of our book, Feeling Sexy. Check it out. Yeah, thanks for being a part of this community. Join us again soon. We'll be diving into more.